So Rick, where do you think we need to find these answers regarding career and your work and your life's purpose, and how to access them in an easy way?
Well, I'm not very good with answers. I don't think we should look for answers. I think we are the answer. The problem is the mind, and the mind gets attached to all kinds of stories. And once these stories start on a downward spiral, stories of fear, stories of scarcity, then everybody believes them, so on and so forth. So stop believing all these people's stories and trust yourself, then everything works out.
But how do you do this process of cleaning, like these beliefs?
We want something to do, but there's nothing to do. It's all that is really necessary is to follow your heart. However, because that's difficult for some people, then we give them steps.
Mm-hmm.
And I have worked with, in my book, Creating the Work You Love, which I understand is now here in Brazil. I don't know how you say it in Brazilian, but it is now in Brazil.
Criando, trabalho, que você ama.
And it's in Brazil. We talk, we align the chakras through not just the internal, but the external. Since Descartes, the Western world has had this erroneous belief that the real world is somewhere inside my head and outside is something else. And we're learning that that's not true. That out there and in here are part of a feedback system. They're part of a tapestry of reality. So instead of just like sitting and breathing and chanting your mantra, you can also sit and breathe and create the building blocks of abundance. And the first one is, the basic abundance is trusting yourself and trusting your body. Like, that's the first step. The second step is, and I think this is really important, it's honoring your family history. It's understanding the history of your life, your family, your culture. Because people try to run away, but it never works. Because you always get pulled back. You're trying to heal something. And very often, the place where you've been most wounded, that is the place where you can heal.
That's where that's the place where you try to escape from.
Exactly. So if you're in abundance, you don't try to escape from your wound, but you work with it. Then you learn how to focus. The third step is accessing the will. Not the will that's fighting you, but the will that's this is what I want. And we have methods for that. It's not what do I want for the rest of my life? It's what do I want in the next 10 minutes? Or what do I want in the next month? That's a much more powerful question. And the next step is the chakra, the fifth chakra of vision and possibility. See, a lot of New Age programs, they say visualize what you want. But what you want is just a condition of the neurosis you already have. So it's not just what I want, but it's what is my highest good? Where can I make a contribution to the world? If you start thinking that way, you start getting support from the most amazing places. Mm-hmm. So those are some of the steps.
So you do not necessarily agree with the visualization that everybody talks about, that you should actually write down your goals and your dreams and everything you want in your life.
It's not that it's not that I'm against it. It's that you have to understand how to use it. Maybe
you mean maybe life has better things to do.
Exactly.
And can surprise you in many ways.
Exactly. The ego is like the janitor. The building. All the ego does is put things away. But if you want, if the ego runs the show, all you get is what you wanted. And when you get what you want, you're always disappointed. Mm-hmm. And if you don't get what you want, you're disappointed. So can we go beyond that and see what does the universe want? What's the highest vision? Then everything is a surprise. Every day is a surprise. That's a lot more fun to me.
So it's more about getting comfortable with what is.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
than desiring always something new.
Yeah, there are two theories, if you will, of manifestation. They're the New Age people who come from the New Thought people a long time ago, who they say, imagine what you want, think about it every day, and you'll get it. Mm-hmm. And then they're like the Zen people who say, don't think about anything, don't want anything, and they need to kind of learn that they're like two sides of the same coin.
Yeah. How do you do that shift? Because when we are aligned with scarcity, normally everything just starts getting worse and worse and worse. How do we do that shift? Then when we realize that, you know what, I give up. Like I really can't do this anymore.
That's
and then
the key.
How do we align ourselves with the way for going uphill instead of down?
Well, for most people, it takes some kind of catastrophe for them to say, I give up. That's unfortunate, but it's true. I say in my book, the great motivators of career are like death, divorce, disease, downsizing, and disaster. However, if you don't want to create a catastrophe, the other way is you find somebody who's doing something that inspires you, and you align yourself with them. You get to know them, you read their book, you hang out with them. This is called apprenticeship, and this is how careers were always created. You find someone who's saying, yes, that makes sense. And that way you don't get pulled down by all the negative propaganda of our culture.
Right on. You want to say?
Yeah, one thing to think about. Like, what if there was an architect, a genius architect around, 25 years ago, named R. Buckminster Fuller, who said this amazing thing. No one believed it. He said humanity is destined to be a success. And everyone's thinking, oh, the world's going to blow up. So what if this planet is destined to be a success, and so are you? Instead of saying, oh, what's going to happen to me? Just say, I am destined to be a success. That is a great mantra. Yeah. And it will help you.
We're aligned then, because I have his sentence in my talk.
Okay.
This exact sentence. And that's pretty much how I end it. How I end my talk.
There
so
you go.
Good.
Very good.
Nice.
Obrigado.